How are you
Morning, how are
doing?
you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you all doing today? Today's a beautiful day.
Henning, your ears must have been burning because Kimberly was talking about you. She was talking about how she met you, and it was like you can believe in coincidence or you can believe in karma, and it's I don't think there's any doubt that you two were going to meet.
Well, Kimberly was kind of a wandering soul at the Sundance Film Festival, and when these wandering souls, enter my periphery, I like the antennae go up, and I said, "Let's talk," right? So she came, and we adopted her. Our group, we had about 40 or 50 people out there. It was nuts.
Let's take this poor soul in.
Yes.
Well, I was lost because I'd never been to the film festival. So it is way different. If you've ever been to South by Southwest or CES, right? Those are huge events, but for some reason I can function in them. But the film festival is like a whole town, right?
Yes.
And even though CES is all of Vegas, it's different. It's very, very different. You almost have to be born there to or in the industry. And I was not in the industry other than media to really understand. But these guys had it down to a science. They were a big family. They worked together. A lot of fun to hang out with, and the best food. This is what I told them. We were talking about weddings, right? And how sometimes, have you ever gone by accident to the wrong wedding? And it's not by accident for me. I go to the ones with the best food.
I've never by accident gone in the wrong wedding. That sounds like a whole nother story.
Well, we're talking about wedding production. We had a wedding planner, and I said, well, doing a wedding plan is like production of a movie. Really, it is, right? You got to get all the people right. You got your stars, right? Yeah. You got your story that you're kind of pulling together. And then and he was telling me they have 15 cameramen at some of these weddings. So it's like a movie. So your movie last week, Henning, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Last Wednesday.
What did I show? Oh, yes. That was Destinova. Yes. Thank you for recognizing that. That was cool. That was really cool.
Thank you for inviting me. That was a lot of fun popcorn time.
What did you get at? What was your favorite moment? We didn't get your take.
Well, because I had to leave. I stayed until about probably 10:30, 11 o'clock when it was over. And I wanted to listen to some of the views. I loved the red lips.
Okay.
I loved that. Everything about the whole movie took me back to the 80s. Your mentioning of the Tom Cruise movie. I'm sure you guys were all out. I mean, movie instead of doing your job, right? We got a job to do. We have a mission to do here. But remembering a moment like that, because that was a great movie.
Well, Kimberly, you mentioned in COVID, women are buying more red lipstick, and I couldn't understand that. What do you have an idea, a theory of why that is?
So it was told to me by a doctor. Dr. Tula said that he had learned that when the economics go down, the Dow goes down, the red lipstick sales go up.
That's amazing.
And he's never understood that himself, but that's what he learned. And he said that he sees it all the time, that the red lipstick sales go up when the Dow goes down.
So there's something about red lips.
Well, okay, there's a cheap way to brighten your face.
Oh.
Well, we had this idea with Laurie, who plays. We basically have Laurie narrating part of the story, and the character Laurie. All of these people are real people. Any character in this is based on somebody real, and a lot of the characters are based on my high school friends. And we kind of have this. We kind of have this group of friends that. All these extraordinary stories come out of this group. And Laurie's story is a story that we tell in a future movie. And that movie is called Metal Crush. And that's the movie that we are currently developing, and we hope to be shooting before the end of the year here. And I thought it would be very interesting to have Laurie, who appears in the previous installments, minor capacities. but I thought it would be really cool if we had a character from that's really showcased in a future movie, telling the story of a previous installment, and then at the same time we do it in a mysterious fashion, and we just show her mouth telling the story.
I love it.
And we got that as a pretty much as an homage to Rocky Horror, which was the ultimate teen movie of the 1970s. That was the
going on midnight everywhere.
Midnight on Saturday night. That's, if you were a cool kid, that's where you went when I was a little kid. And so we created this Laurie Lips character, we call it. And we just did some interesting things with the filming of it and the coloring of it. And then when we opened the movie, we said, and coincidentally, and this is where, again, things just kind of come together. One of the stars of our movie, Kimberly, whom you met on set, is Gianluca Gibbons. And Gianluca is a phenom music artist. He writes, he performs, he preaches. He's a minister's son. And I met him at a screening, and he walked in with his flip-flops and his big sunglasses and his big afro. And he gave a testimonial after them. I thought this kid is like, I didn't know him from anywhere. He just walked in. I thought it was off the street. I didn't know if he was invited or not. And then afterwards, he gave a very poignant testimonial about how much he loved the movie. And we put that testimonial in our promotional materials for the movie. I'm talking about Romancery was the screening that we did. Yeah. And then I said, well, we got to know each other, and I realized how talented this kid was, just like a phenom actor and musician. And I offered him a small role in Rebelistic. And then the role was to do a motivational speaker character. And his speech is epic. We do it in the old university church at USC, and it just has this really spiritual feeling to it. And he did such a great job doing the speech that we put him in a couple other scenes, and now he became an important character in Rebelistic. And then when we did Destinova, I invited him back, and I asked him if he would come back, and he did. So now he's in multiple movies. And I was looking for songs for the day after we came up with this idea for the Rocky Horror idea. I was looking for a song, an opening song that could go with this movie. And I was just looking at his profile for some reason, and there was a song called Red Lips that he had written, and I listened to it, and my mind I just went, and I called him and I said, hey man, can we use this as our opening song? He said, sure. We put it in, and then, so it all was very magical and very synchronistic and serendipitous, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we opened the movie. And then we had to reshoot. This is, again, I know there's a long answer to it. It wasn't even a question. I just wanted to talk. But it was just, it's amazing how these things work. So when it comes time to do this final version of Destinova, we had recorded the Red Lips in black and white, and a lot of this is why you screen movies. A lot of the feedback that we got was that people wanted to see the Red Lips. We did it in black and white. Why did you do it in black and white if the song says Red Lips? And I thought it's kind of ironic. Let's have a song about red lips and not show the red lips ever. And people didn't like that. Once in a while, it's thumbs down, right? That's a bad idea. But sometimes these ideas work. And so then we got to reshoot. We have to reshoot the lips because we shot it in black and white. We've got to shoot it in color. And we've got to really, when you shoot in black and white, you can kind of hide the blemishes a little bit. When you shoot in full color, you got to really get it right. And so you have to really, it took half a day to shoot that one thing, because you have to get right in close. You have to, literally the camera is right on her face. And then, but we couldn't use the same actress because she wasn't available, and it was the middle of COVID. And it was like, and we had just wrapped Street Chase. And I said, man, and Gabbia plays Laurie in Street Chase. So I said, let's see if Gabbia can do it. And she agreed. And so now we had kind of a dilemma, because I wanted to pull out on I wanted to give her an epic speech, right? And I wanted the camera to pull out and reveal that it's Laurie. But we couldn't do it with the other actress because she's actually in another scene as a different character. So we couldn't reveal the actual actress. The actress that originally played Laurie was the one playing bass guitar in the song. And it wouldn't make sense that Laurie's playing bass guitar on the concert. Why would Laurie be playing bass guitar? It's not Laurie, right? It's not a musician. So I would have had to rewrite 4 scripts to include her. So it was actually good fortune that the original actress was not available to re-record the lips. Gabbia did it, and then we were able to do that epic scene where we pull back. And to me, that's my favorite thing that I've ever filmed. That one scene, because she was a reincarnation of Laurie, who has since passed away. Okay, and that's a whole nother story. So now the lips become something much more than just a cool way to shoot something. We were actually able to reveal, and then that brings in another character from another movie. And Gabbia did such a great job in Street Chase. She's the one that is yelling at the mobsters, right? And they're telling them to get the guy. And so we included her in a second movie, and now she's in Metal Crush as well. So she's in 3 movies now, and it's a beautiful relationship. So that's the story of the Red Lip, since you brought it up.
Love it. So let me tell you, it was so classically done. I think that's why the Red Lips were important, is that it was so classic looking. It looked like an old coloration movie to me. And that nailed it. And the music, I'm going to tell you right now, the voices you have are phenomenal. They're just dead on A-list, A+ list people. I mean,
thank you.
The music chills down my arm.
I appreciate that.
Just
thank you.
You have a rare talent for finding talent.
I appreciate that, and I divert all of that credit to my collaboration with Drew Lane and just working together. He and I have developed a really amazing partnership where we kind of see the same thing, and I know if he's going to like it or not. Like, to get one song, you literally listen to 100 or maybe even a couple 100 songs to get the right one for the right scene. And to be able to put a lot of those musicians into the movie is a dream also. Sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes the song, you just find the right song and you get the rights to it and pop it in. But to be able to bring the musicians in is a big deal. And this is a great segue, because Ankit, I sent you a clip. I sent it by email. You can download it. I think last time we tried to show something and my computer was not. I can try to show it, but you can download that video. That's a new video. I like to talk about it and how it ties into the stories, and it also ties into the theme of the day, which is the Laurie theme.
Well, Henning, I grew up in the 70s, and I wanted to make sure that you knew that it wasn't only the cool kids that went to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because there were chess nerds there too. And and also, in the 70s,
you were cool just by being there, man. Just by being at the theater at midnight on Saturday night.
But in the 70s, the Red Lips were associated with Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones.
That's true too. Yeah. The Rolling Stones lips, and that was again. I think that the Rocky Horror lips were kind of a tribute to Mick Jagger and the Stones, and it was just, again, once something is gone for like 40 years, you can bring it back, and it's not. People don't, they don't accuse you of taking something. You got to wait a while. I'm trying to do some homage and pay tribute to Tarantino, because his, some of his stuff came out in the 90s, which has been 20 years. So we can do a little of that also. Yeah. And that's kind of why we did.
I wish I could stay. Henning, you're awesome. I really enjoyed listening to you.
All right, we'll get the recording. This is good on the recording.
I'll be back later.
Horror day and age. I mean, Rocky Horror movie kept playing even after I was 30. It's just down the street at one theater. They play it every Saturday night. And I hate to admit this. Every year I would say I'm going to go watch it or go see something. Somebody will always come up, and I've never seen it. Never seen it. I know every song to it. I've heard all my friends singing them. I know. I think we even had the album, of all the music in it, soundtracks.
Yeah.
But I never had time to go to movies. This is why I tell people. This is why I like going to your movies, because I can go.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get this up. Give us a minute.
Sure, no problem. Let me do a little description of what you're seeing here, what you're going to see here.
Okay.
We started to our films, as you know, Kimberly and Ankit and Sasha. Our films are inspirational and motivational entertainment. They're entertainment first, and then everything we do has got an inspirational, motivational bent to it. The characters, as I said, are all based on real people, and you take the stories take these different turns and twists. And we thought it would be a cool idea to do a series of rock operas, and where the music video tells part of the story of what's going on in these movies. And we did this in a very unique way. It's not, I can play it on, let me try to play it on mine. All right.
Okay.
And we feature Kaylee Marie, who she's just going to be massive. She's going to be massive. And she's breaking out right now. She plays Nancy in Hit or Twist. And then Lori, again, played by Gabbia, and they're both in this. Austin is in this as well. Drew Lane makes a cameo appearance as well in this music video. So let me try to do it from here. I downloaded it.
That's what I like about your movies. He even put me in the movie. So if you're going to on the set, he's going to find a way to put you in the movie. Hey, can you just go over there and sit at that table? And talk for an hour.
Yeah,
that's what we did. So
you're going to fun.
How about a movie on Henning? How about a movie on Kimberly Calhoun? A short movie on Kimberly Calhoun.
No.
Hey man, all you gotta do is say the word. Let's start. Let's start the
all
process.
I do is look at that one scene I'm in. I gotta go lose weight. That's all I get. I'm like, I'm gonna go lose more weight. I gotta work out. And that's what I appreciate about the actors and actresses. They really work very hard at maintaining their physical appearance, which is a lot of work. People have no idea.
Again, go ahead, sorry.
It's hard to act. You got to remember lines. I can't do that, Ankit. Can you get it, Henning? I was having problems.
Okay, I'm going to. I just unlocked it, so you should be able to do it right now.
Thank you.
See if you can pull it down, because my screen is not allowing me to share. So for some reason. So yeah, these just tell me, give me a thumbs up if you got that going. These actors, we chose. For a lot of these roles, we chose people who are beautiful people inside and out, and their physical appearance is amplified by their sincerity, and in terms of how they deliver their lines. And again, you saw it on set, Kimberly. I mean, you saw how into it the actors got. And I always, when I cast, I basically will share a lot more than a lot of directors will share, because I want to tell the story behind the story, and I want to see if they perk up. Now, you're dealing with actors, so you have to read between the lines and make sure that it's sincere, because they're used to acting, right? So they could be acting like they're interested, or they could really be interested. So that's also part of the challenge, and it comes through. And we want to set an ideal or an example for people. And this is the movies. So you want everything to be pretty. You want everything to be just right. And you want people to be able to strive for an ideal. And that's how we do the casting, and our actors just bring it every time. And it's a pleasure. Yeah.
And I think just give me a minute and I should have it. It's still not allowing me to, it's still for some reason marked private.
Okay, you asked me another question. I'm gonna fix this right now. Hold on.
Let's see. Control C. Control V. There we go. Let's see if I can get it now. It's still marked.
Okay. I'm gonna fix it right now with this. There we go. There we go. Okay. Give me 1 more minute. Ask me something else.
Ask you something. You work and talk at the same time. You just impress me so much.
I can. It's only been, you know.
When you were doing the coloration, you said you had to change, and you're having to get so close to the person. What did they do to make their skin look so smooth? Because I tell you what, I run into that problem too. It's very, very difficult. I mean, she's got beautiful skin to begin with, but geez, that's like, okay, let's put a microscope up to, when you got 4K and HD cameras, nothing goes away, right?
Well, again, I'm not an expert in that area. You have good makeup people, and they know how to do it, and again, you just you get in close, you see if you have the right focus and what the blemishes are, and you see if there's a way to cover whatever that, because when you're in that close, you're literally seeing, pores. When you see this up on a big screen, you're going to see pores. So that's how we wanted to make sure that we, all right, I just sent you the link again.
Okay.
We want to make sure that when we color these, and also when we shoot these, that when you're watching it on a big screen, that you're still gonna love it, because everything gets amplified. And that's where sometimes people who haven't been on movie sets, they don't understand why you're so, there's such an attention to detail. There's something that doesn't belong in this frame, and it's way down the way, right? And then people think you're crazy, what's wrong with this guy? No one's ever gonna see that. And then sure enough, when you get in editing, and then sometimes you don't even see it in editing, and then when you go to screen it and you watch on the screen, you're like, I told you. I told you. And we're hiding all kinds of things when we shoot. We're hiding modern cars. We're hiding cell phones. Kaylee I shouldn't even call her out for this. It's not her fault. She had a cell phone in her back pocket. And the kids, what do? They put their phone. A lot of us, we just put it in our back pocket. Who's going to see that? You can see the phone in their back pocket. Now, do you know it's a phone? Maybe, but why should it be? It shouldn't be there. So you're constantly shooting around things. When you're shooting outside, and when you're shooting, in an outdoor scenario, and people don't remember, these things. And this is 1984, or this is 1989. There's no cell phones. There's no flat screen TVs. There are no modern cars. There are no what else? The logos on. We had a guy wearing a hat that had we say no logos at all, because they don't know what is what, right? You can't wear a shirt that has what's a more modern, Gwen Stefani on it. Gwen Stefani wasn't even born yet.
I was going to say.
What are you doing? You can't. That doesn't register. Doesn't make sense.
I remember your memo saying that too, and I go, I know these kids aren't going to get this. I know they don't understand.
You bring extra clothes and extra hats, and you say, you get out, go change, and come back.
Go change and come back. Exactly. So I think we got it running.
Okay.
Let's play it. I'm going to give it the full screen.
There it is. Yeah.
So we will give it the full screen. Thank you, Ankit. And where did I put it? Give me a second. I got to find the screen. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to give it full screen. Privileges. Here we go. Rock and roll. So check this. This is just beautiful how you did this.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, wait. The music.
Good evening, and this is Kaylee Beats Drew. Take one, right, and action. So, let's hear it. Okay.
Right. 1, 2, 3. I don't know why I try to find the light inside me. Everything, all I see is empty. Can you find me here? Falling forever. Will you hold my feet? Save me falling apart, but I feel right when you lost in the dark, but you're the one I run to. But I feel right in you. Lost in the dark, but you're the one I run to. Can you find me here? Falling forever. Will you hold my feet? Save me from
And it's nice to meet you, Nancy Drew.
Nice to meet you, Drew.
And, okay, I love it. Pick it up. Okay, great. We got it. All right.
And I got to say, wow, that voice is phenomenal.
That's Kaylee Marie, and she's going to be, she plays Nancy in Hit or Twist. And she also is releasing a new music video tomorrow that we also produced and I directed. This new one. Then the one for tomorrow really is a social commentary as well, and will be debuting tomorrow. It's not part of the rock opera series, but it is going to be a very important part of our arsenal of communication. And she's just an awesome, great person, really good actress. And we're going to be working on. Thank you guys. We're going to be working on the next rock opera. We filmed it this past Saturday at a beautiful resort here in Orange County, California, and this next one is gonna blow you away. We have all of the beautiful scenes inside of this 6-star resort. A grand piano. She's wearing a red evening gown, and she's walking through the hotel. And we got drone shots. We got beach shots. It's like it is a production. And we're going to be showcasing that next week on movie night next week. So thank you for the positive comments. And yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So Henning, I have a very interesting question for you, because whenever I watch a movie, I watch it as a director size. So what I can do, or I can do a change in that movie. But the interesting part is that, so you are showing me an angle which is like maybe a back of my head. I want to see what's happening on the right side and the left side as well. So can we have a future movie where there are 3 different angles, and I will pick one of the angles and I'll see what's happening there, that side, as compared to what's happening on.
Oh my God! You're trying to get fancy here. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I am open to discussing that with you. I know we have a private Zoom session coming up. There's things we do with these, and I love experimenting with camera angles, as you can see in that little clip. And the reason that it feels cinematic is we shot those scenes for the movie. So when you, and that's what makes these rock operas so special, that it looks like, man, this is a production to make this one music video. It looks like they did a lot of work. Well, we're taking clips from the movie and we're putting it into this, we're cutting it to the song. And so it's basically, you're repurposing the same footage. You're doing it using it in a different way. But as you can see, we had 4 different drone angles on that car, on that conversation outside. We had over the shoulder on both sides. We had the above the head. We had the below. We probably had 10 different angles for that one little scene, and you don't even hear the conversation, right? In the film, in Hit or Twist, you hear the whole conversation. So that's kind of our teaser to get in there. However, I am very interested in experimenting with camera angles. Remind me next week to show you guys something. I'm going to show you two. I'm going to show you 2 camera techniques that we used in Metal Crush that I don't think have been done before because of the type of equipment that we use. And you have to really be fearless. There's like whenever there's something that's really dangerous to do, like I make sure I'm up to date on all my insurance policies, and I grab the camera and I go, right. So if it looks like I'm running through traffic to get this shot, right, and literally the car just misses me, it's probably me running the camera, and they only let me. And whenever I take the camera from Anita or from Steve, they're like, "Okay, he's about to do something pretty nuts." So I'll show you a couple things next week in that realm. And if you guys watched Destinova last week, you guys saw the camera go right through the fence, right through the fence.
That was
so.
When you asked me, what did I take from this movie? I took so much from the movie, but it was the red lips that just truly impacted the whole thing. The way she spoke.
I appreciate that, and it's what we try to do. I know we've been talking about this, but when you're making movies that are inspirational, motivational, transformational, we don't use violence in these movies, aggressive violence. We don't do it. We won't do it. It won't be. There's violence at times, but it's not graphic. If that makes sense. We don't use any type of graphic sexual imagery. We just don't do it. It's not that it's bad. It's just we just don't do it. And I even got some stuff with Bella and Spencer kissing the diner, and people are like, man, they're really going at it in the diner. I'm like, well, they're happy.
Okay. And the fact that 2 actors can do this, but when you have really good acting skills, you don't need all of that.
You don't need it. And
you don't need it.
We use the music and the camera angles and the uniqueness of, again, on your end, the Laurie lips really struck. Somebody else might say, man, that one song got me. Somebody else might say, hey, I love the Cars because we use all the classic cars. So when you make movies and you're staying in staying within certain parameters, and I'm not saying those other things are bad. I'm saying that this is what we do. And that's why we love to experiment. The camera angles are a big part of it. The drone shots are a big part of it. That running camera is a big part of it. When you run right into somebody's face with the camera, and it makes it. You use all these techniques, and then by the end of the rainbow, you say, man, they didn't use profanity. Pretty much, they didn't use any. We just make up words. Make up a word that sounds worse than profanity, and you just solved it.
My dad used to do that.
They use the cars, the cameras, the acting, the songs, the makeup, the hair, all the things. And so I'm so proud of my team for bringing it the way they do. But that's why, and that's why when Ankit brings up, hey, can we do something cool with the camera angles? I'm all for doing those kind of things. I don't want to use special effects. We didn't use any special effects in this in the movie. This comic book style with the rock opera. That's as far as I'm willing to go, pretty much. But all we're doing is taking the frame that we shot and we're transforming it. So it's not something it's not animation, if that makes sense. And so we want to keep it all real and accurate to the story. And it's just a ton of fun. So My time is up. I'm cutting it to somebody else.
Real quick before your time is up, because of a special mission that you have is anti-suicide.
Hmm?
Your suicide mission to stop suicides. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but in India, they just suffered a huge loss of a big actor in India who committed suicide over the weekend. And it was huge. It's a huge impact. So huge that we have two spiritual people going to start a TV show with IBM TV to help bring some calm and peace to people. That's how impactful it was. But you have a mission to help prevent suicides. And I want to bring that mission and message out to people. And if you could share just a minute about it.
Yeah, everything is connected to everything else. And I'm so sorry for your loss in India. You lost a public figure and I it just, whenever I hear a story like that, and everything's connected. Everything's connected. So if you look at the holistic, if you take the holistic approach, then you'll see that everything that I talk about and that my team and my tribe talks about, and we're kindred spirits, and that's why we're such good friends, Kimberly and Ankit's becoming a new friend, and because we understand the holistic scenario. I am primarily focused on inspirational, motivational, transformational communication. That's all I do, and that's all I will ever do. I'm not going to ever do anything else. There's different ways to bring it about, but you'll see that behind it, that's where we're headed. And by inspiring somebody, by giving them positivity, by giving them some fun, giving them examples to look up to, heroes to believe in, you can positively affect somebody's mental state and positively affect their psyche, and that in turn is going to reduce the suicide rate, which is the ultimate expression of a mental challenge that somebody's experiencing. And so for those of you out there, and I talk a lot about this on my Facebook Lives, I talk about how and I don't want to get into this now because it's a whole nother conversation.
No, I just want to introduce it.
Thank you. And I also want to talk about my new movie called Anhero, which is the main character is a suicidal kid. And you're going to flip out when you see this movie. It hasn't even been shot yet. And I'm telling you what's going to happen. I can see it, how we're going to do this. You're going to lose it over this movie. And it's a very different approach. But the way I do it is, first of all, I create a character, and the character's relatable to a lot of kids. And I focus mostly on a teen and a young adult genre. That's where I'm playing right now. And later on, I have plans to expand that after 10 movies. So we'll get to 10 and then we'll move on to other topics or other genres. And you create a character that is a character that somebody can look up to, or that somebody can believe in, or that somebody can aspire to be like this. And then you show their transformation. And the dialogue is tough. At times, there's a song that I wrote the lyrics to, and Drew has graced me with his genius. And it's a heavy metal song, and it's going to be rough, and the lyrics are tough, and it's hard to listen to, but it addresses the issue. And then we bring that kid out of that space. And when you see how it happens and the change, then somebody can see that and say, man, that is something that I can at least think about it. And then we're encouraging dialogue. We're encouraging people to speak on it. We're donating the money to, this is a short film that's not a moneymaker really. We're donating the money to the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, some of the money I should say. But it's something that I feel very strongly about. And if we continue, the way we can impact the suicide rate and is by just communicating positivity, encouraging people to communicate with each other, to seek out help, to seek out mentorship, seek out coaching, and that it's okay. Mental challenges are just like physical challenges or any other type of a challenge in terms of if you can get help, get some help. If you get sick, you go see a doctor. If your brain or your mind is damaged, especially these past couple of months, we're taking a hit. All of us are taking a hit mentally. So you want to seek out help for that. And sometimes it's just talking to somebody, and sometimes it's seeking out, professional help. And for the young people out there that are watching, and for parents and coaches that deal with young people, encourage them to speak up. In making this movie, it's been a challenge for me because I get upset very easily. Whenever kids get hurt, I get extremely emotional. So it's hard for me to do it, but I have to, because I have to know what's what. And I talk to parents who lost kids by suicide, and that's like the worst conversation you could ever have. And you just don't even know, because I got 4, and I'm like, man, if something like that happened to me, I don't know what I would do, right? And so you get the real issue. And if you will encourage your kids to communicate, even if they're showing no signs of mental illness, because sometimes they don't talk to the parents, right? They don't talk to the parents. So encourage your kids to talk, find out what's up. And if you see something off, or if you notice something that's just a little bit different, then take note. And then when you have the next conversation, see if it's a pattern. And a lot of times that communication can be curative, because you could recommend for somebody to talk to them, or a friend, and we can reduce. These are things that we can have an impact on, and I'm happy to do it and I love to do it. And that's where my ultimate passion comes from. So there you go.
I just wanted to share that with you. And I'm going to, after the show, I'll share you a link, and maybe you can help me reach out to this person, because it is happening. And we knew that there would be a trend in the worst direction. But it's inspiring people. Like you said, don't hesitate to stop and take a moment and care for someone. And sometimes all the people need to do is just receive a little bit of absolution, or a little bit of affection. That's it.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah.
So thank you for sharing. And please definitely keep sending us links. I know we're going to see you next week. But I can't wait.
I invite you all to come on. Sorry to step on you. I invite you all to come on tomorrow. We're going to show Romancery, the new version, the new color, beautiful cinematic widescreen version. Oh man, you guys are gonna fall in love with this. If you love the music, it's all music, baby. It's 90% music.
It's Wednesday nights, and I love the fact that you're doing
Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. Yeah, Wednesday 6 o'clock Pacific time. And great to see you all. Great to be on, and we'll see you next week.
Send me the link. We'll have
Again, before you get up here, what's that website again? I was trying to get.
We'll send it to you. We'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Put it. I'll put it right in the chat right here, and then you can share it. Thanks, guys. You're all invited for tomorrow. See you guys soon.
Take care, Henning.
Thank you so much. Awesome.
Love the movie.
The other thing that I was going to add, and I was watching a little bit of the movie, it was a great movie from what I could see, but